Alrighty, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hope you guys are doing well. Today is Wednesday, December the 3rd. Hope you guys are doing well today. Sorry, the face cam is currently not on. What's up, everyone? Hope you guys are well. Yes, face cam off today. Yeah, hope you guys are doing well. As for the overall markets, really nice kind of push right off the bat yesterday on specifically for the QQQ towards the upside. SPY was kind of lagging behind, so a little bit of a rotation kind of back into some of these tech names here. So that's something to keep in mind, which is good moving forward. As for some of the names, we're going to take a look at some of these charts here in a second. Before we do that, good morning. What's up, everyone? Good morning, LAX. Good morning, Ryan, Martin, Cosmic, Benny, Samantha, Patrick. What's up, everyone? Todd, Petty, Lawrence, Crypto, Sam, Gabriella. What's up, Nate and Natalie? Why? What's up, Patrick? Yeah, what's up, everyone? Hope you guys are doing well. Yes, let's get on to the Forex Factory here, and then we're gonna get started. So number one, we do have some red folder news coming into today. Right off the bat, we do have some ADP non-farm enrollment, which is going to be at 8:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we also do have the ISM services, which is later into the session at 10 a.m. So this is what we have, at least coming into today. For tomorrow, some unemployment, and then on Friday, of course, core PCE, along with some consumer sentiment here as well. So this is what we have. We'll wait for kind of that first. It's in about 7 minutes here. So we'll go over some tickers, some major indices, most likely. And then by that time, the red folder news will drop. And then we'll go over some tech names and some other charts here as well. Okay, let's go on to some major indices. And then we'll get on to some of the Mag 7 names here. So for the overall market, really coming into this week, we've really just been kind of consolidating in these general areas. So as you can see here, for the ES and the NQ, ES has really just been consolidating in this general area, which is primarily just from your Mondays and Tuesdays key levels. So this is what we have for the ES, and you can see we're building up these higher lows here. So overall, higher time frame still very much intact after last week's price action, and now we're just kind of consolidating, building up these higher lows, kind of creating this flat top break. Now what we like to see is really the break above your previous day highs, hold above your previous day highs for this continuation higher. So this is what we have for the ES coming into today. We'd like to just see that continuation above. Now it's going to be our previous day highs along with our high from Friday as well for continuation. Of course, if we pop and kind of reject off this level, we could see a little bit more downside, just back down in towards that 68.10. So these are the levels that we have coming into today. Let me zoom in here. It's going to be your previous day highs, of course, that we're going to have marked out, which is your 68.60s. We have your previous day lows, and then we still have this level marked out, which is just your Wednesday's highs from last week. So if we do want to see continuation, as I mentioned, above your previous day highs for a continuation higher, another possible scenario, if it comes back down in towards your Wednesday's highs, technically we'd still be above your previous day high, so we could be looking for this higher low pivot point here as well. But these are really the two long scenarios for continuation higher. If it rejects off your previous day highs, we could see some downside, or now it's primarily going to be underneath that Wednesday's highs, 68.44. So this is what I have for the ES coming into today. All right, let's go on to the SPY chart. So SPY chart here, fairly similar thing. Key levels that we have marked out is the range that we have from this week. So you have Tuesday's price action, Monday's price action, kind of just went up into your Friday's highs of last week yesterday. A little bit of rejection off this level, came back down in towards our 679, and you can see just a lot of consolidation just in between these key levels. Currently, we're actually pushing up here in the after hours and in the pre-market. So what we like to see here, similar thing to the ES, you can see higher time frames, nice push towards the upside last week. Now we're just consolidating. We want to see that next leg towards the upside. So today is going to be very key here in the overall markets, in my opinion, right? Building up those higher lows. Now let's see if we can break above and continue towards upside. So this is what we have here for the SPY. Now let's go on to the ES. Now let's go into the 50-minute time frame. So coming into today, the key levels that we have marked out, 683. Other levels that we have marked out, previous day lows, and of course our Wednesday's highs from last week here as well. So exact same two scenarios that are going to play out here for the SPY chart. Potential continuation above your previous day highs, above that 683 for continuation. Another possible scenario, bounce off that Wednesday's highs, 682 for that pushback towards upside here as well. So two scenarios that I have for the SPY chart coming into today, exact same thesis as the ES. Only way I'm leaning a little bit more downside if we have a big pop, kind of break back underneath, or now it's going to be underneath that Wednesday's highs. We can see a little bit more downside on the markets. I'm fairly bullish here. I would like to see, as I mentioned, higher time frame, break above that previous day highs, hold for that continuation higher. So this is what we have for the SPY chart along with the ES. And now let's go on to the NQ. This one is leaning more bullish than the ES itself. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay. So as for the QQQ coming into today, along with the NQ, you can see the higher time frames on the NQ is more bullish than the ES. You can see higher lows are being built, break above key levels, nice continuation towards the upside, whereas the ES is really consolidating underneath their last week's lows. So with the NQ kind of leading the way higher, yesterday we did have a little bit of a rotation back into a couple of these names, specifically Nvidia and AMD itself. Some of the semiconductors kind of got rotated back into, so that's why really the NQ held up as the overall markets, as really the SPY was lagging behind just a little bit. So a lot of these tech names bounced nicely yesterday, which is a good sign moving forward. As for the NQ coming into today, the key levels that I have marked out is going to be this is your Monday's highs, your 25,480. We also have your previous day highs here marked out as well, which is your 25,667. So coming to today here for the NQ specifically, what we like to see really break above your previous day highs, hold for continuation. Fairly similar thesis like yesterday, break above that previous day highs and hold. Another possible scenario now is going to be the break underneath, reclaim back above, or if price came all the way back down in towards that previous day lows, continuation back towards upside here as well. So for the NQ, key levels that I have marked out, as I mentioned, is just going to be this previous day highs. And then we can also have marked out your 25,500. So really a couple scenarios that we have marked out here for the NQ. Now let's go on to the QQQ. We're also about to have some ADP non-farm enrollment. Now the key levels that we have is going to be the break above your previous day highs here for the QQQ. Another possible scenario, right? If it gets underneath, we're looking for the reclaim, or if price came all the way back down and towards that 619, we'd be looking for that continuation higher here as well. So these are the scenarios that we have for the major indices. Now let's go on to the red folder news that we just currently had. All right. So we just recently had some ADP non-farm enrollment change at 8:30. We have ISM a little bit later into the day here as well. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, but forecasted a lot lower than expected here. Forecasted was 5K, and we end up having -32. So a little bit lower than expected here by a decent amount for the ADP non-farm enrollment change. We'll see how the ISM numbers impact the market here as well. That's going to be at 10 a.m. As for the SPY and Qs themselves, you can see Qs is actually now above your previous day high. So as I mentioned, similar game plan to yesterday. We just like to see if we can get that immediate retest right off the bat for continuation higher. So we'll see if the same thing kind of applies today. We can get that immediate retest. We can see this next leg towards upside. If we break back underneath, then we can see a little bit more consolidation and the market to kind of slow down. So key level previous day highs for the major indices, specifically for the Qs, and then actually SPY as well, key level previous day highs. So we can actually just mark out this. Let's just readjust this level. We can then mark this out from the body to the wick right here, and you can see touch from last Friday here as well. So this is going to be the key level for SPY. Okay. All right, let me go on to some tech names that we have here now as well. So if you guys do have any tickers you'd like me to go over, you guys can now drop them in the chat. Yeah, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers you'd like me to go over, I'll go over the Mag 7 here, and then I will go over some other names in a bit. But if you guys also are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop a like. If you guys haven't joined the free watch list, that one is also in the description below here as well. Okay. So first things first, let's go over Tesla here. So Tesla's showing some buyers stepping in here in the pre-market. Nice little pop as well. So for Tesla, the key level that I personally have marked out is this 433. So we have a couple key levels, 424, which currently we broke above, and we're really holding here on the higher time frames. Now we like to see a break above this 433. So if you want to see any sort of push towards upside, break above, hold for this continuation higher. So this is going to be the key level for Tesla moving forward above that 433. Let's go back onto the 15-minute time frame. Key levels that we have marked out, as I mentioned, 433, very key level, multiple touches earlier this week, multiple touches yesterday off this general area here as well. Now, coming into today, I consider Tesla in more of a range here. Yesterday, we had a pretty big direction of both days. If we do want to see continuation higher now, it's going to be above your 433 hold for this continued push back up and towards your 435 and above. If we reject off this area, then we have potential to come all the way back down in towards that 426. And then this is going to be your next pullback long area for a continuation higher. So this is what we have for Tesla coming into today. As for the main thesis, it's going to be the hold above that 433 for a push up and towards that 435. As for Nvidia, this one, nice kind of rotation back into a couple of these semis here. For Nvidia, the key level that we have marked out is your earnings low primarily. So we have this general area marked out, which is the area we really broke down from. You can see touch here, couple touches, and now we have a touch yesterday. So if you want to see any sort of potential kind of earnings reversal, we like to see it now above your 184 for this potential push back up and towards 190 and above. So this is what we have for Nvidia, at least moving forward here on the hourly chart. If we go back onto the 15-minute key levels that we have marked out, it's just going to be this 184. This is the level that we rejected from yesterday. And then we also have your Wednesday's highs marked out here as well. So really two scenarios, at least for Nvidia. We end up coming all the way back down for that previous day high retest nicely yesterday. And I can see we're kind of bouncing back towards the upside here today as well. So for today, on Nvidia key levels that I have marked out 183, I'd like to see one of two things. Number one, bounce off your 183 for a potential pushback towards the upside. Another possible scenario is going to be the break above your 184 for a pushback up and towards your previous day highs, 185.50s. So there's two scenarios here for AMD for the long side. If we get underneath, then we're just going to come right back down in towards your previous day close. So key level is going to be this 183. If you want to show bullish price action right off the bat, potential break above that 184, hold for that continuation higher. All right, so these are the two scenarios that we have for AMD coming into today. Sorry, that was for Nvidia. Now let's go on to AMD. All right, so for the AMD chart, similar thesis here compared to Nvidia. Nice push towards the upside yesterday, ultimately higher time frame. As you can see, still technically bearish, and this pop kind of got sold into. Moving forward, the exact level is still going to be this 220. You can see previous kind of key pivot point, use this as support for continuation higher, and now we're back underneath this level. So moving forward here for AMD, if we maintain underneath, we're going to see continuation lower. If we can break back underneath, break back above this 220, we can see this nice pushback towards the upside. So key level moving forward, just mark out your 220 on AMD. So actually, let's see if we have this level marked out. Let's kind of extend it over. So this is the higher time frame key level. We can just kind of extend it over here now for AMD. Let's extend it down here. As for the rest of the levels here now, yeah, these are the major key levels. So 220 here is your major key level on the higher time frames. Nice touch yesterday. Nice retest right off the bat. And then you can see we broke below it later into the session. So moving forward, at least for longs for AMD, right, you could be looking for the reclaim back above 218, but in my opinion, the best long is going to be above that 220 hold for that continuation higher. So key level 220 here on AMD moving forward. As for some downside, I'm really only interested in downside off the rejection of your 220, or now it's going to be underneath that previous day lows, 214. As I mentioned, I'm not really short bias on the overall markets just because now we're holding up. Just look at the QQQ, look at the VIX. Higher time frames have most major dips have been bought up, and I do expect that moving forward as long as you can maintain key levels and the bullish sentiment is still intact. All right, next chart we have here is Apple. So Apple, we talked about this one yesterday, being one of our main watches for continuation higher. Key level was your pre-market lows along with your previous day highs. Nice break above, retest continuation higher on Apple up in towards our earnings high, which was back in towards this 285. So super solid trade up in towards this 285 here on Apple. This one really kind of leading the markets back higher. At least key levels coming to today here now is just going to be your 284.50, and now we can mark out our previous day highs here as well. So these are the major levels for Apple. You can mark out this wick to the body. So this is going to be our key level 287, and we have your 284.50. So what I like to see coming into today is the break above for continuation higher, potential bounce play off this 284 for this pushback towards upside here as well is also in play. So really two scenarios here on Apple coming into this morning. As for Google, this one now just kind of consolidating underneath this 318. Not too much to talk about here. So key levels, multiple touches, support, using this as resistance. So for upside, reclaim back above for continuation. If it still stays heavy, potentially you can see some more downside here on Google. Right, Google here with Nvidia and AMD bouncing, that's why it's staying a little bit heavy. Overall, Google pushed up a couple weeks ago from Nvidia earnings, and we had a nice kind of bullish news catalyst. I wouldn't say it's inversely correlated, but you can see Google had a nice push higher. Nvidia dropped towards the downside. Now Nvidia is bouncing, and you can see Google staying a little bit heavy. So that's something to keep in mind. I do like the Nvidia chart for a push higher, so that could be a catalyst for Google to now consolidate. Okay, so for Meta, let's look at this one here on the hourly chart. We kind of just zoom out a little bit here. So for Meta, nice kind of base, and now we're consolidating. It looks fairly similar to the SPY chart, but for Meta, now we just like to see really for Meta, we really like to see now just this break above your previous day highs hold for a potential move back up and towards our 660 here on the higher time frame. So this is what we have for Meta. If we go on to the lower time frames here, key levels that we have marked out is just going to be that previous day highs. We can actually even refine this level to be a little bit smaller, it's just going to be that previous high from last week. And then we can also mark out just the previous day highs. We can drag this down. So key level coming to today here for Meta, we have that previous day lows. We also have your previous day highs, where I'd like to see it maintain above your 647 for potential continuation towards upside. If we dip all the way back down, I don't like this as much here now, but I just want to see really the hold of your previous day highs for continuation higher. So these are the scenarios that I have for Meta coming into market open, just your previous day high retest for this continuation towards upside. So keep an eye out on Meta coming into today. As for a few other tickers here, Amazon slowly pushing back higher. Microsoft still consolidating underneath that 493. That's the level we have to get back above if you want to flip back bullish. And as for Netflix, this one kind of just consolidating around that 109. That's going to be the level we're going to have to see a reclaim if you want to see any sort of push higher. Okay. That was majority of the MAG 7 names. My main watch here is going to be Tesla, and this one showing a little bit more strength here in the pre-market. Seems like there's some news here as well. So for Tesla, the key level I mentioned was your 433, but it does seem like it's using that level here in the pre-market. So we're going to have to mark out a new level, which is just going to be your previous day highs. That's also going to be the key level, but primarily I just want to see really the retest off your 433 for this continued push back up and towards the highs. So that's going to be for my main watches. We'll keep an eye out on Nvidia here as well. And of course, Apple. Apple's a little bit of a slower mover. Lately, a lot of the moves have been a little bit slower and based off the higher time frames. So that's something to kind of keep in mind as well. A lot less momentum here in the past week and a half, ever since we had the market holiday. And now the VIX is underneath 20 here as well. But okay, if you guys do have any charts or any tickers, I'll go over them probably for the next kind of 5 minutes. And then I will get ready for market open here today. If you guys do have any charts, you guys can now drop them in the chat. Yeah, if you guys have any tickers, you guys can now drop in the chat. If you guys are enjoying this so far, I appreciate if you guys drop a like. If you guys haven't joined the daily watch list, that one's in the description below. Tesla pumping, yes. SPY, I already went over SPY earlier in the day. Let's go over Palantir. We'll go over a couple more names here, and then we'll go over some Bitcoin and something else. Okay, so for Palantir, the key level that we have marked out, as you can see right here, is just really the area that we broke down from. So you can see multiple touches, rejection, another solid kind of rejection right off the area, or right off the candle that we broke down from yesterday, which was that 174. So if you go on to the 15-minute time frame here, really solid push up in towards that key level, took that out, and then pretty sharp rejection for a push right back towards the downside. So for Palantir, really coming into today, key level that we have marked out is going to be our Wednesday's highs. Other levels that we have marked out here as well, 174. So what I like to see is really kind of this trade back up and towards this 174. That's going to be key here for Palantir. Or if you can get above your 174, you can see some more continuation higher. So 2 scenarios here for Palantir coming into today. Quickly go over a couple other names. AVGO really not doing too much anymore, kind of pulling back here with the overall market. Still higher time frame bullish. Key level is this 372. Oracle, another rejection here. Let's go on to Hood real quick. So for Hood, higher time frame starting to flip here as well. So I like this one. Based off the daily chart, we're actually right at a key level once again. Your 127.50, multiple touches. Essentially the area that we broke down from, multiple touches here. So daily candle has to close above if you want to see any sort of continuation higher. Key level here on Hood, as I mentioned. Now if we go on to the 15-minute time frame, what we can have marked out is just your previous day, sorry, your high from Friday. And then we can mark out another key level. I kind of like your previous day lows in this case, kind of with your Monday's lows. The levels aren't as clear here on Hood, just because we're kind of ranging. For the key levels, it's going to be this 130. We can also mark out now your previous day highs, 128. I'd like to see really higher lows be built, preferably above your previous day highs for continuation. Or now it's going to be above this 130 for a pushback towards the highs here as well. That's what we have for Hood. Quickly go over SoFi. SoFi looks good. Higher time frames being built. Higher time frames being built. Higher lows are still being maintained. Now for SoFi, we like to see the reclaim back above. It's going to be this level right here, 2980. Hold above your 2980. Right, we can see this continue push back up and towards your previous day highs and above. Okay, Jack, I want to say thank you. Joined the Discord around June and July, but ran out of cash, planning to come back in November. First month was profitable, had 974 in profits. Awesome, love to hear that. Okay, let me go over a couple more names here, and then I will call it a day. Let's go over Bitcoin. I use the 5-minute time frame for the break and retest. The question is whether the 3-minute time frame can be any time frame can be used, as long as any time frame can be used. It's based off context, any time frame, any asset class, that you just have to know what you're looking for, but primarily, as I mentioned, you can use it on any time frame. Go back and back test this, go back and back test the setups. These are the time frames I personally like to use: the 1, 5, 15-minute and 1-hour chart. You can use the 3-minute if you like as well, but primarily I like to use those time frames that I mentioned. Bitcoin bouncing in the exact area that I talked about yesterday was your 84 exact level. You'd like to see it hold. Nice kind of bounce exactly right off that key level, 84.073. So nice buyers that stepped in, and now we're pushing price back towards the upside here. Let's see what else. For 15-minute candle rule, do you still consider having higher time frame bias, or do you still execute? You don't have to have a higher time frame bias. You can just use the candle in itself, but that works best in ranging markets. We're going to use that 15-minute candle when the markets, this is a good, right now is a good time to use that 15-minute candle because we're kind of consolidating a lot of the major indices. If the markets are moving quicker, then we can use the 5-minute or even the 1-minute if we want to be really aggressive. Alrighty. All right, I'm going to go over my game plan once more here, and then I'm going to get ready for market open. So really coming into today, we're just going to mark out, the levels are fairly clear for me. Previous day highs here on the SPY and Qs, we have your previous day lows. If we can break outside, we can see continuation higher. If we reject, we're going to come right back down in towards that Wednesday's highs. So keep an eye out on the SPY above your previous day highs today for a hold. As for the QQQ, similar thesis, right? Previous day highs, kind of similar game plan to yesterday. If we can break and hold above, we can see some more continuation higher. So keep an eye out on your 623 for a hold right off the bat. If we reject, then we're just going to come back in between its previous day's range and then look for like a trade later into the session above your previous day highs. As for my main watches coming to today, Tesla, it does seem like we have some news here in the pre-market. It's up about 1.36%. My game plan, I'd like to see the pullback. If we can get this pullback long coming to market open, awesome. Another possible scenario would have to be kind of the break above your 436 for a continuation higher. I don't like this as much. I'd much rather see the pullback longs, but this is also in play here as well. Tesla is going to be my top watch coming into today. As for Nvidia, key level, similar thesis, right? 183 along with this 184, potential bounce play off your 183 or the break back above your 184.50 for continuation higher. As for some other tickers, AMD key level Friday's highs from last week, Apple key level previous day highs along with just this pivot level from its previous day, which is just your all-time highs key pivot level. And then for the rest of the names, keep an eye out on Meta. I like Meta a lot above your previous day highs, hold for continuation. And then for the rest of the tickers, just keep an eye out on your key levels here as well. Palantir lagging a little bit behind, key level is going to be this 174. So coming to today, keep an eye out on Tesla for continuation. Nvidia you can have as well. And then Apple and Meta both look solid on the higher time frames. So that is going to be it for me today. I'm going to get ready for market open here now. Hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did, Appreciate if you guys drop a like and sub. If you guys haven't joined the watch list, free watch list, that one's in the description below. And then I'll see you guys all tomorrow. All right, take care, everyone. Have a great rest of the day. Peace.